Hi, and welcome to the Nemo version of Chapter 13 homework problems. Alright, so the conceptual questions. Number 1, what does it mean to say that two systems are in thermal equilibrium? That was that whole zeroth law of thermodynamics part. If they're in thermal equilibrium, that means that if they were brought into thermal contact, no heat would flow in between them. In other words, two systems that are in thermal equilibrium are at the same temperature. Okay, now number 7. One method of getting a tight fit, say of a metal peg in a hole in a metal block, is to manufacture the peg slightly larger than the hole. The peg is then inserted when at a different temperature than the block. So most things, water down near 0 degrees Celsius, down below 4 degrees Celsius being the exception, most things expand when they get hotter and contract when they get colder. So our ideal situation for the block and the peg are to have a cold peg and a hot block. That way the block hole will be large enough for the large peg to fit inside, and then we'll have a tight fit when it all reaches thermal equilibrium. Number 10, find out the population of the Earth. I did this the other night. I had 7,097,072,469 people. That number of people, I'm wondering if I'm as out of sync as I look when I'm watching the video playback. I hope not. That number of people is a tiny fraction of a mole. That number divided by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd people per mole of people would equal 1.178 times 10 to the negative 14th moles. So very tiny fraction of a mole's worth of people. If we did have a mole's worth of people, that would be 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd people times 60 kilograms per person would be a pretty huge mass. 3.61 times 10 to the 25th kilograms, which if we compare that to the mass of the Earth, which is listed as 5.972 times 10 to the 24th kilograms, that would mean that the people would weigh about 6.05 times what the Earth itself weighs. Those are the conceptual questions. Now we'll do the problem.